development for teachers. Mainly, I am going to focus on stress and time management for teachers in higher educational institutions. So, before going to dig deep into the concept of stress and time management for teachers in higher educational institution, first, everyone has to understand the concept of stress. So, in our daily life, for whatever work we are doing, we are getting to stuck in somewhere or getting to show our anxiety towards other person or in ourselves also. So that leads to stress. So whenever we are facing some problems, that also we are facing some psychological problem, emotional problems, and some health issues we are getting. So that may leads to stress sometimes. So stress is the emotional and physical strain caused by our response to pressure from the outside world. So there are so many factors which will influencing on the emotional and physical strain. So that leads to the pressure, so that it is to be called it as stress. So stress also to be a necessary part of our daily life sometimes. That means in a positive manner. And sometimes anything that stimulates us to act or think or react, that also to be causes the stress. And sometimes when you feel extreme in nature, like some what surroundings, that also we can get stress. So sometimes necessary in order to force us to accomplish certain tasks, that also leads stress. Without stress we can't what we call, our bodies would not react all even in times of extreme danger. So this is called stress. So coming to the concept of sources of stress may include several things like variety, meaningfulness of work. Suppose when you are having thinking about different aspects of varieties, that also leads stress. And sometimes when you are not doing in meaningless of work, that also causes stress. And workload, when you are having at workplace, that is over workload or under workload, your boss is always criticizing you to do the work, that also leads to the stress. And sometimes the conflict generates the stress. Taken an example of conflicting job demands, multiple supervisors or managers, that also leads stress. Sometimes when you are focusing on the career development opportunities, we are always thinking about our career, that also leads to stress. And sometimes when you are not having the lack of clarity about responsibilities, that leads to stress. And sometimes when you are having more expectations on anything, any aspect, that also leads stress. So these are all causes for the stress. That means for these particular aspects, the sources of generation of stress is more for this particular kind of stress and management. So here, how we have to overcome that particular stress? How we have to overcome the stress? When you are balancing the home and professional life, when you are balancing the personal and professional life, then you will get to avoid the stress. There are different kinds of stress. Like one is tension. So when the tension is more, when you are always thinking about something have to do to at that particular stipulated time period, you feel tense. Suppose taken an example of, suppose your boss is to take an opportunity regarding the conducting an event for the Women's Day celebrations. So for making the event to grand successful, what you have to do, you have to plan everything. When you are going to the dais and speak something on relevant to the what we call Women's Day celebration, little bit you more trends. So that also causes stress. Irritability. What is meant by irritability? What is meant by irritability? So when you are irritating on something, that also causes stress. Irritability is a feeling of agitation. Some to describe like agitation as a more severe form of irritability. So irritability, for example, irritability, feeling of anger, frustration, impatience, and quick to annoyance. So these are all kinds of aspects to be a part of irritability. And inability to concentrate. Suppose taken an example of your exam is there on the next day, tomorrow. If you are not concentrated on your studies or studies and to write the examination, so what is that? You feel tensed. That causes again the stress. So feeling excessively tired. So when you are going to somewhere and play cricket, or when you are going to somewhere do something and extra work, you always feel excessively tired. That also causes stress. Trouble sleeping. So when you are not having proper sleep, that means 6 to 7 hours of sleep for the human being. You always use your mobile phones while sleeping. That also causes stress, because at that time oxytocin, serotonin, these are all hormones to be secreted. So if you are not sleeping properly, that also causes stress. So these are the sources of stress. So, what are the signs when you feel stressed, or when you got something feel stressed? These are all signs to be a part in stress management. So, first one is psychological disorders. What it means, psychological disorders? Disorders is nothing but it plays a major role on our behavior. So, in psychological stress, a particular relationship between the person and the like environment, that is appraised by the person as like taxing or exceeding his or her resources and endangering his or her well-being. So this is called as psychological disorder. That means in Telugu we can say it as saririka ottidi. And at the same time, musculoskeletal disorders. What it means, muscular disorders, what disorders? So when you feel something like muscle tenderness, when you feel like muscle what we call stretching problems, that also causes stress. When you are not doing any exercises, automatically the muscle skeletal disorders will come. So these are all comes under in the signs of stress. Cardiovascular diseases. What it means, cardiovascular diseases? So cardio is generally what we call regarding heart. So heart diseases will get for the sources of for the stress. So you will get what we call in cardiovascular diseases, cardiac arrest may happen, and sometimes artery diseases will come, high blood pressure will come, and another more like blood vessels. That means they are not functioning well. So these all aspects comes under cardiovascular diseases. So there are 5 symptoms of cardiovascular diseases, like chest pain we will get, shortness of breath we will get, coughing and wheezing we will get, swelling in the legs, ankles or feet, poor blood supply to like what we call extremities, fatigue, fast or uneven heartbeat. So these are all aspects to be in part of cardiovascular diseases. Coming to the next one is chronic health problems. What are the chronic health problems? What do you determine in that chronic health disorders or chronic health problems? Anybody? Chronic health problems? So in this, generally, chronic health problems or chronic diseases or long-term conditions that usually at least a year and require ongoing medical care. So these are our chronic health problems. So heart diseases like heart diseases, cancer, diabetes, strokes, lung diseases, depression, high blood pressure, arthritis, Alzheimer's, asthma, cystic fibrosis, obesity, osteoporosis. These all comes under chronic health problems due to stress. Coming to the next one is high stress levels can lead to what? So when you are having high stress levels lead to um, what we call leg pain, aches, chest pain, exhaustion, trouble sleeping, high blood pressure, headaches, dizziness, shaking, muscle tension, stomach or digestive problems, trouble having in like intimacy. So these all comes under high stress levels can lead to these type of diseases. So tighten the muscles may cause some pain and tenderness and traveling. Sweating in palms, that also causes that also gives stress. Stomach upset, so signs of stress also one of the major factor of stomach upset. Difficulty in breathing you will get, increased blood pressure also you will get. So these all comes under the signs of stress. So cardiovascular, musculoskeletal, psychological, chronic health diseases, high blood pressure, sweating in palms, these all comes under signs of stress. So what are the techniques for stress relief? So there are different kinds of techniques. One is mental and the other one is physical. So what are the mental stress relief techniques? Mental stress relief techniques, you have to identify the sources of stress in your life. So when you do, when we need to look closely at our habits or attitude or personality or excuses, behavior, these all comes under mental stress relief techniques when we have to look and find out the stress factors. So when you accept the responsibility for the role we can play, our stress levels will remain out of control. So when you identifying the factors what causes like stress, that you have to identify, you have to rectify the stress levels so that you can control of your stress. So what we have to do in that mental stress relief techniques? So first you have to avoid the overthinking, first one. Second one is don't think, and one more thing is alter the situation. So there are many possibilities to overcome whatever the problem it may be. So first alter the situation and accept the things when you can't change it. Accept the things when you can't change it. And second one is, it's the last one is accept ongoing change. Understand the situation first. So when you understand the situation, you can understand the stages too. You can change the diversion too. So these are all mental stress relief techniques. So coming to the next one, so how we have to maintain a positive attitude or try to maintain a positive attitude. So you have to minimize the negativity first. And at the same time, when you are complaining on somebody, always you feel stress. When you are criticizing someone, always you feel stress. Gossiping on someone, that means the backstabbing, that also causes stress. So when you are not doing these kind of such things, you can improve your positive attitude. You can maintain your positive attitude very peacefully. So here, when suppose when you are having the big task, you have to simplify that particular big task into small tasks. Suppose if you can't do it, please leave aside. That means sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. You just ignore that particular stuff. And next one is, uh, suppose when you are going out, what you have to do? Suppose when rains comes, what you do not overthink about that particular problem. You just alter the situation. What you can have to do. That is the main source to reduce your stress. So you have many problems in my life, but the worst them never came. So that is called it as you always think self hypnotize yourself. You have many problems in your life, but the worst of them never came. So don't think much about your future. Live in present moment so that the stress levels will have to be reduced when you are maintaining the positive attitude. So coming to the next one, what are the physical stress relief techniques? Any idea? Anybody? Physical relief techniques, stress relief techniques? Physical stress relief techniques is you can tend to take quickly and swallow the breeze deep inside and outside. So how we have to do is physical stress relief techniques. You have to do the meditation. You have to do the meditation. There are different kinds of meditation techniques and breathing techniques. Anybody known about this one? Anybody know physical stress relief techniques? So first one is exercise. In this, rhythmic exercise is there. So how we have to do rhythmic exercise? So like running, like walking, like dancing, like swimming, rowing, climbing can help you to get into a flow and relax. So you have to do these kind of exercises. Second one is yoga. Yoga is a popular stress reliever, combines physical and mental disciplines and can help you relax and ease anxiety. So hatha yoga is a good option because it's slower paced and very easier. So you everybody have to do the hatha yoga. So it can relax your body and mind too. And next one is stretching. You can try shoulder exercises. You can try neck stretches to release tension. So these all have to be in a part of physical stress relief techniques. So one more I can give a suggestion, the breathing technique, that is Wim Hof breathing technique. Wim Hof breathing technique. So in this Wim Hof breathing techniques, they arranged in different steps. That means different stages. In first stage, you have to just hold the breathing with 30 seconds and release out. That means exhale. And in the meanwhile, you have to hold the breathing 1.5 minutes. So if you can't do the 1.5 minutes, you just have to increase first 25 minutes or 30 seconds. After that, 1 minute. After that, you have to do like that 1.5 minutes. So 30 seconds inhale, hold for 30 seconds. Later on, you have to release or exhale the particular breathe, so that your body and mind has to be very clear and crystal. So this is Wim Hof breathing technique. And one more physical stress relief technique is like tapping. So did you heard anybody the tapping? Tapping is nothing but you have to do like this. So when you do like this, your nerves are to be activated. So like this you have to do, like this again you have to do, like this you have to do, and this and this and elbows. So when you are doing this kind of exercises, your muscle has to be relaxed and activated so that your stress has to be reduced. So these all need to be part in physical stress relief techniques. Coming to the next one. So this is also to be in the part of physical stress techniques, relief techniques. So one more thing is here, I would like to mention therapeutic massages. So do you know about what is therapeutic massages? Anybody? Therapeutic massages? Anybody? Anybody have any idea? Therapeutic massages? It is nothing but a mobilization of the soft tissues in order to induce the relaxation. So there are 5 benefits of while doing the therapeutic massages. First one is lowering the stress, increase your immune function, and boost your mental health and wellness, managing the pain, improve physical fitness. So these are all to be part in the therapeutic messages. And progressive muscular relaxation. What is progressive muscular relaxation? So when you are doing or relaxing your body, our muscles are tense. So when tense up a grow of muscle so that they are as tight as possible. So you have to do what you have to do. Hold it like a few seconds, then relax the muscles to the previous state. Then finally relax the muscles even further that you are as relaxed as possible. So this experiment has to be done in PMR. So like this you have to do in progressive muscular relaxation. So when you want to do this kind of exercises, please little bit has to follow from the YouTube so that you will get the what is this progressive muscular relaxation. Next one is how we have to reduce the stress reduction. So how we have to reduce stress reduction? Stress reduction can do by different kinds of ways. So first one is what we call exercises. So daily you have to do exercise for 30 minutes, at least 5 days a week. And at the same time, brisk walk is a very good place to start. And the one more is, second one is eat well. So if you are eating a proper healthy food and fruits, vegetables, and good proteins and fats, so that it can reduces the stress. Third one is sleep. You have to restful sleep and stick to a sleep routine. Fourth one is practice mindfulness. Try meditation, yoga, or Tai Chi. Next one is relax your body. Try something visualization where you use your senses to imagine or else a relaxing place. So you can also try the deep breathing, which I have mentioned, the Wim Hof breathing technique. There are different kinds of breathing techniques: Anuloma, Viloma breathing technique, Bastrika breathing technique, Surya Vedana breathing technique. This you have to follow from what we call Shri Ravi Shankar. There are the different apps so that you can follow the pranayama techniques. Take time out for yourself. Set aside time for yourself to do something like you enjoy, like getting a massage or soaking in bubble bath. Give some time to yourself. And the next one is identify the stressors. What it means, identify the stressors. Identify the stressors is nothing but where causes your stress. Where causes your stress. So you just have to identify that one, avoid or challenge unhelpful thoughts. So these all comes under the stress reduction techniques. And one more important thing is limit screen time. So when you are spending lot many time with the screen, your sleeping habits may change. So when sleeping habits may change, it gives the stress. So when you have to spend less time in front of the screen and more time relaxing, so that you can what your stress levels will have to be reduced. And avoid unhealthy habits. Avoid using like alcohol, cigarettes, drugs to manage your stress. At last, talk to a professional. So when you are not when you do all these things also, if your stress is not to be reduced, you have to share your thoughts to your professional. Like if your stress is extreme, you might find it helpful to talk to a mental health professional. So this is to be called it as the stress reduction techniques. So coming to the next one is exercise. So these are all tips to reduce your stress, like laughter, like positive thinking, deep breathing, stretching, progressive muscular relaxation, exercise, healthy diet, accepting the things when you can't change and expect change, alter the situation. These all comes under the tips to reduce the stress. So coming to the what we call coming to the next one, when you what work for you when you are doing something that has to reduce your stress daily, what you have to do to reduce the stress. So you have to spend a time with your family. If you are not doing with that, your stress may levels has to increase because you are not sharing anything to your parents and friends. And one more stress reduce technique is music and singing. So when you are listening the music, automatically your stress has to be reduced. When you are singing or humming, whatever it may be, it also reduces your stress. So when you feel stress, you just read any kind of book. So it reduces the stress. Prayer is the ultimate one to reduce the stress. Being organized and being to be properly planning, that also to reduces stress. Yoga, meditation, hobby, these are all part in to reduce your anxiety and stress. This is to be called it as stress reduction techniques. So when you are doing all kinds of stress, automatically your time has to be in your hands. So time is always to be like a money. So when you not use properly, you can't get back to your in your life. So time is money. When you are investing the time, automatically it reflects to in a in like profit. So time is money. You can make money. You can't make time. Yes or no? So when you have an inch of gold, suppose when you are having some inch of gold, you cannot buy the time. You cannot buy the dime. So when you are using the time properly, the result will come definitely in a positive way. So this is time is money. So what is time management? Time management, when you are utilizing the time in optimum manner, you can achieve your personal and professional goals. When you are not using properly, what will do? When you are not using properly, automatically you will face the problems. You cannot achieve your professional and personal goals. So when you have to do the time management, what is the requirement of the time management? So how far it is useful for the students and as well as the teachers when you are managing the time. So when you are managing the time, automatically what will happen? You will achieve your task. So time is for everything. Everybody wants to manage the time, but they don't know how to do that particular task. See here, take time to work. It is the price of success. So when you are doing the work in proper manner or proper time, it leads to success. Take time to think, it's source of power. Take time to play, is source of youth. Take time to read, it is the source of wisdom. Take time to love, it is the privilege of gods. Take time to serve, it is the purpose of life. Take time to laugh, it is the music of soul. So you have to arrange or organize yourself where you have to pay attention in your daily life. So these all aspects reflects on your time management. So time management is the essential skill for teachers who often have many responsibilities and at the same time need to create a productive learning environment. So generally in time management, for teachers, they don't know how to manage their time. So when they don't know the manage their time, automatically the work is overburdened for them. So I will tell some small tips to them so that they can able to understand how to manage the time. First, they should aware the time awareness. First, when you are doing some tasks, make sure you know where your time is goes. Don't depend on your money. Keep a time log. That means time track. See that your time is to be spent as per your priorities or not, or your core responsibilities. Otherwise, your time is to be running away from you. And one more thing is how the managers, what we call managers, maintain their or managing their time. So planning is a key managerial function. Planning is already been on forecasting for the future. So research show that less than 5% of management time goes on planning. So here there is a principle called Pareto principle. So what is meant by Pareto principle? Anybody? Pareto principle? It is a very, very important technique that it encourages you to assess how to calculate or how to allocate your time. So by having focusing on 20 percentage of the task that yield most significant outcomes. If you can optimize your schedule and achieve more in less time. So how can these 80-20 rule help you to manage your time? Any idea? So it suggests that a small portion of our time and effort 20% generates a significant part of our results 80%. So it gives what we call more productivity. So 80, suppose taken an example of 80% of the public uses 20% of their computer's features. 80% of the crimes are committed by 20% of the criminals. 80% of the sales are from 20% of the clients. Taken an example. 80% of the project value is achieved with the 20% of the effort. So this is to be how we have to apply in our life. So taken an example of first, identify all your daily activities, identify your key activities. What are the tasks that that give you more return to you? Brainstorm how you can reduce or transfer the tasks that give you less return. And one more thing is create a plan to do more that brings you more value. Use what we call use this 80-20 to prioritize any project or not. You just have to understand so that you can achieve this particular 80-20 principle in your life as well. Next one is Parkinson's law. What it means, Parkinson's law? Anybody? Parkinson's law? Very important one too, Parkinson's law. Anybody? Parkinson's law? So when Parkinson's law is the idea that work expands to fill the time allotted for its particular completion. So this may mean you to take longer than necessary to complete a task, or you procrastinate and complete the task right before the due date. So this is called it as Parkinson's law. So how to use this Parkinson's law? First one is you have to set a specific deadlines. It has to be clear and realistic deadlines for your tasks and projects. Second one is prioritize your tasks. Which is important, which is not important, you have to prioritize it. Use time blocking for that. Allocate specific time slots or blocks of time in your schedule for different tasks or projects. So this is called it as project Parkinson's law. You have to apply this Parkinson's law in your daily life too. So prioritize tasks like this. Suppose taken an example of the matrix: urgency, importance, urgent, not urgent, important, not important. So when it is important and urgent, you have to give the rank, so the number one. When it is important but not urgent, you have to give priority to two. When it is not important, urgent, you have to give the preference to the third number. When it is not important, not urgent, the prioritized rank is 4. So like that, you have to divide your bigger task to the smaller tasks. So this is called it as what we call Parkinson's law. And this is also to be called it as the time management matrix. So when you are detecting some difficulties in managing your time, what you have to do? Discuss some of the difficulties you face and try to manage your time. First, you have to share with your friends or parents, whoever it may be, but discuss. Second one is diagnose your difficulties. What is diagnose your difficulties? You have to understand and to diagnose where you are lagging, where you are lagging. So where you are wasting your time too. So what is here, you can utilize the rack method here. What is rack method? Anybody? What is rack method? Any idea? Anybody? Rack method? Rack method is nothing but a record. R stands for, A stands for analyze, and C stands for change. So RAC is record, analyze, change, which is a time management technique that can help you to reduce your procrastination and at the same time wasting of time. So here in record, what you have to do, write down what you do in each day and including how much time you spend on per each activity, and analyze how you are analyzing. Review your activities at the end of the day to identify unproductive time and time wasters. Last one is change. Use the information you gather to organize your time and tasks to avoid wasting time. So these all three steps are very, very required for the each and every human being. Organize your time and tasks. So what are the time wasters in rack method? So here, time wasters in rack method is, one is very important, social media and idle chatting, lack of focus on work, and there are different kinds of other social media networks too: WhatsApp, WeChat, Snapchat, what we call Viber. So these are all different kinds of idle chats. So you have to reduce these kind of what we call time wasters. So did you get my point? Anybody? Any doubts for this? So when you are doing these kind of things, what will happen? Unproductive output will come. Unproductive meetings will have to be, and discussions also, procrastinating things, even getting bogged down in low priority of the work. So you have to avoid these kind of things. So this is called it as what rack method. Coming to the next one, procrastination. What is meant by procrastination? Procrastination is nothing but always postponing the things, always delaying the things. So procrastination is one of the biggest time waster in the particular human beings. So you can do the procrastination by intentionally or something like what we call habitually. So you have to reduce the procrastinating the things. So some example like you need to get your homework to be done, but instead you make your cup of tea, then go on to your phone, then have a chat with someone in the kitchen. 40 minutes later you have not even begin doing your homework. What it means? It means procrastination. So first you have to do your prioritize task, then later on you have to continue with your particular things. So you can have to check the particular procrastination demonstration in this particular link, Tales of Mere Existence Procrastination. So, why do we procrastinate? What are the factors to do we procrastinate? There are several factors. One is whether maybe the task is difficult or tedious or boring. You always procrastinate. And second one is when you are having not paying attention on that particular kind of work, you postpone. And when you are what we call when you are more addicting on like different chatting apps or social media or Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, then also your mind has to be distracted, and you are not be able to do your task, so that also leads to your procrastinating the work. So so these are all causes to we do procrastinate. So, what are the strategies to prevent procrastination? First, take action. So, why I am doing like this? You have to self realize yourself. And second one is salami techniques. We'll discuss in this later part. Third one is 5 minutes. What is 5 minutes? Or else we salami technique is nothing but any idea? Anybody salami technique? Salami technique. Already we discussed salami technique. Salami technique is like as a strategy often employed to address complex or large tasks by dividing them into smaller, more manageable slices. So salami technique is very useful when you are having what more number of tasks. So this salami technique, how we have to do? First, break down the task. Second one is work on each piece. Set time limits. Make sure that pieces has to be in logical order. Schedule the activities. Don't break the pieces halfway. That means don't break activities halfway through. So this is called it as salami technique. So salami techniques when you are what generally we use this salami technique when you are procrastinating things. So you have to do the project into small manageable tasks that can be completed in 15 to 20 minutes each. So that is salami technique. Next one is 5 minutes. What is 5 minutes? Anybody? 5 minutes technique. 5 minutes technique. Anybody? 5 minutes technique. You have to do the 5 minute technique. 5 minute. So you have to prioritize and you have to finish that particular task within 5 minutes. So when it is requiring only 5 minutes. Next one is work on related tasks. So when you are having the stipulated time period, you have to do the work related tasks only. Don't distract from yourself to the other avocations. Do the hardest bits first. So when you are having the hardest things, you have to do first, prioritize yourself. Later, you have to do the what we call simplest things. Set goals. When you are not setting goals, always it gives indirection to the people or human beings. Make commitments. Always crystal clear about your commitments. Reward yourself for your achievement. So when you achieve something, you have to reward yourself. Change subjects regularly. So you need to what you need to change your subject so that so that what will happen, you cannot procrastinate your work to be for that particular subjects. So these all strategies are to be what procrastinating techniques. One is salami technique, already we discussed. Making commitments, rewarding yourself. So here in salami technique, there is one example. First, if you have a comparative essay from your English exam paper 2014 to complete, you can break this down to first analyzing the question, then brainstorming your session. From here, you can make an outline of your answer. Then write it section by section. For example, introduction, section 1, section 2, section 3, like you have to do. Conclusion. Lastly, you have to review and edit your answer. So what was a large task has become a much simpler sequence of small tasks that you work through one by one. So first you have to give priority like this so that the salami technique you achieve. So like that you also cannot waste your time and easier and do your work as properly. So making commitments. So what is making commitments? So making commitments is nothing but you have to do the work to be best. When they are given tight deadlines for your projects or assignments, whatever it may be, you have to achieve higher grades and experience less stress. If you are working on a large piece, studying towards delivering the certificate, you can give yourself deadlines to have different topics covered within a subject by specific dates. This will also help you to keep you on track and make sure you cover all the material for subject in time for the exams. So this is making commitments. So reward yourself. So when you do something to be better, that also leads to reward yourself. So when you feel proud, you should make yourself to be rewarded. So that is to be called it as reward yourself. So how you are going to plan your time? In order to use your time effectively, it is very necessary. It is very necessary to plan it out by knowing what you have on a given week. And you can plan around your commitments to make space for homework and study. So like that, you have to give prioritize your planning of your time. Suppose taking an example of when you are making the academic calendar, you have to do on an average of in a year. This will help you to plan what pieces of work you have to concentrate on different periods of the year. If you are doing a particular subject, such as like management studies, HR subject, whatever it may be, you have to prioritize your practice before the practical examination, which takes before the written examination. Similarly, you have to put time towards your all language exams at the time of the years. You can use worksheets for your students. You can use any kind of modules to your students or to conduct some assignments. That also gives a overall year timetable. So weekly timetable, how you can manage? You have to do the weekly timetable based on your hours. So when you are to be very clear about your hours, you have to prepare to be in previous day only. You just have to avoid your idle chatting, WhatsApp, Snapchat, whatever it may be, or social media network. You have to be very realistic on your part of your particular work. So like this, you have to do the weekly timetable for the teachers as well as the students. So you have to remember 4 to 5 hours at a time is not very productivity. You have to too tight and at the same time to be effective in your learning. So try to study for a block of no longer than 2 hours at a time. This is also to be called it as 8-8-8 rule. So with breaks during this period. So most people can only concentrate on generally 20 to 25 minutes at a time. So for example, if you are studying for an hour, this should be broken into 25-minute periods. Then take rest for 5 minutes and they can continue with your same work. So divide your study up to like 25 minutes chunks to work through them one by one. You can always use a timer to help keep you on track record. All the smartphones can have to be provide this function. So this is weekly timetable. So goal setting. When you are clear about your tasks, you can easily setting of your goals. So when you are studying or when you are doing some work, the temptation can be to maybe retreat your bedroom for hours on end and state generally that you are studying. So what exactly does studying mean? Studying needs to be broken down into specific goals to the targets. The chunks of the works that you want to achieve within a given a time frame that you have to do. So that is called it as goal setting. So here generally SMART has to be elaborated in different meanings. One is specific, S stands for, M stands for measurable, A stands for actionable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for time bound. So the best goals are SMART goals. SMART stands for these are all things. So check out your SMART study goals would be like either it is in management textbook, history textbook, whatever it may be, you have to thorough with the mind mapping. So when you want to know about more for these SMART goals, there is a clip. So you have to click on that particular video. You will get to know what it is. So to-do list. So when you are doing something, to-do list, a great way to plan out your SMART goals is to create a to-do list. So when you are having the to-do list, it is very simple device. You just list all the things you have to do on a given day or perhaps a week. The key to creating an effective to-do list is each item on your list will be very specific. That means it comes under SMART goal. Check out this particular SMART goal in YouTube. You will get to know, dig deeper into the concept of what is SMART goal, how we have to do that to-do list. So to-do list is a like as an exercise. Taken here, what you have to do is take some time to create to-do list using your SMART goals, like maybe like what you have to do tomorrow or even over the course of the next week. So now looking back at your available study time in your weekly timetable, you can put the SMART goals from your to-do list into the available study periods. As you work through each of these tasks, now you can tick them off, safe in the knowledge that you are taking charge of your time management. So these are all means when you are prioritizing something, you have to, if you do that particular time within a stipulated time period, you have to tick them off. So you will be very safe in knowledge that you are taking charge of your time management. So that also that also beneficial to you to improve your skills and delaying in the procrastination, avoiding the procrastination of the time. So these are all to be a part in time management techniques. So thank you so much for giving this wonderful opportunity. So I hope this session is useful to you. So any queries, please let me know so that I can give an elaboration to discuss.